This is a message to all my supporters of this podcast. I'm introducing a new supporters program. You can contribute a small amount as a one-off payment to show your love for this podcast. Thank you in advance for all your contributions.
A payroll and HR company needs to be prepared for whatever's going to happen. You could say that over 70 years of experience helping businesses all over the world run smoothly is good preparation. But for ADP, that's not enough. To make sure millions of people are getting paid on time and in compliance, we're staying on top of each new piece of legislation. So when it comes down to it, ADP isn't just a payroll and HR company. We're the company that helps you navigate the complexities. ADP, HR talent, time, benefits, and payroll. Informed by data and designed for people.
Hi, my name's Mark Hayward. This is the Absolute Business Mindset podcast. I'm here to talk to you about business, technology, and coaching. So, what I want to talk to you about is something very personal and very down to every person that's involved in business. But I would say that it is the three critical things that mean that you can be successful. Whether that is an entrepreneur or whether that is a corporate employee who is driving for promotion or establishing at a grade. These are the three things that I think that you need to do. And I don't think any of them should be a great surprise to you, but equally, sometimes it's good just to hear them in a slightly different way or with a different focus than you would imagine. So that's what I'm going to try and do here. This is very personal habits that you should be doing every day. Okay. So the first one I want to talk to you about is to be clear on what you want to be. So that means you need to have clarification in your objectives, where you want to be, your sort of end game. So that might be a partner, might be a CEO, it might be any number of these different options of a very senior person. But equally, that might be something like being a manager to be able to provide for your kids or be available for your kids more. So I think those sorts of thoughts you need to be able to work out in your head and decide where you're going or where you want to go to. A lot of people are just blindly following a career path, a job, without really thinking about what they want to achieve. Now, I'm a big one on setting goals and reassessing goals and having long-term goals and having short-term goals and maybe medium-term goals as well. So it's important that you're able to work out what you want to be. There's a little bit of authenticity about it, to be true to yourself. And that's also incredibly important. You need to be true to what you believe in, your social views, and you might not want to work for a particular type of company. And if that doesn't work for you, then don't be unauthentic and be somewhere just for the money, because it is important whether you're a millennial or whether you're a baby boomer to work for a company that you believe in, and that might be a bank, that might be an oil and gas, it might be a charity, whatever it is. There's some of the more, say, controversial for different reasons type of industries, but if you're happy to work for them and you see benefit in them, then there's no disputing that they are a type of company which can reward very well. So I think it's important to understand yourself. I think before you start trying to influence others, or you've got to personally understand what you want to be and what you want to achieve. So that would be my first step on these three personal habits. I would then say the second one is regarding keeping and generating energy, whether that is physical, and I would say that every successful person has an element of physical fitness. That can be going to the gym, it might be running long distances, might be cycling. Equally, I would personally add in meditation as part of that personal and physical energy. You don't necessarily have to run a marathon to be mentally and physically able and capable. So I've talked extensively on podcasts and on YouTube videos where I talk about the role of exercise and meditation being a similar one. So whatever works for you, you should really think about getting. For me, I do enjoy exercise. And the physical side of it, I must admit, I get clouded with a little bit of work that takes over. But it's something that I would definitely always want to and aspire to, is to have physical fitness part of my weekly activities. And that's because it gives me a clarity of thought. It gives me it calms me. It makes me a little bit tired, which is no bad thing when you're dealing with lots of mental things at work. Now, this is the thing. This whole point is being able to balance. I'm assuming you're working hard, okay? If you're not working hard, then you're probably not listening to a business podcast. So we'll kind of take those people out of this conversation. So I'm assuming that you are working hard. You are mentally working, whether you're dealing with problems or whether you're dealing with projects, people, clients, any of the above. I'm imagining that you're working hard and you might come home and it might be hard to switch off. Some people have that problem. I try to switch off. I'm not always successful on it, but I try to switch off as much as possible. But I feel that being physically tired and exerting myself physically means that when I get to the end of the day, I'm actually tired. And feel that I've worked hard, which is an achievement in itself. And I really don't like late nights rolling one side to the other on the bed because I'm not mentally relaxed or physically tired. So I would say that for anyone who's successful, you need to create a balance between being able to switch off, whether that's through meditation or podcasts, listening to things. Even watching TV can be relaxing. I know there's a split view on a lot of CEOs that think you should read instead of TV. Yes, but equally, I'm going to say that I do so much TV, and it is part of my life. It's not the only part of my life, and there's lots of other things that I do. But you need to work out what works for you. So this whole point about your energy, you need to understand where your energy points are, what part of the day they are, and use them for meetings, use them for speaking to people, and understanding yourself on what drives you and what points you might need caffeine, you might need a walk, you might need to go to the gym, whatever it is. So I talked a lot there about is the sort of balance that you need to be able to perform, to be able to be personally fit and physically good. So that's important. And the third one is about drive. Okay? You need to work hard. I left that just for a second because I don't think anyone that's listening to this should be thinking, I'll take easy street. There is no easy street if you want to achieve and be successful. So I would say that you need to have drive. Now, drive comes from all different number of different places. It might come from might just be from you personally. It might be experiences that you've had, positive or negative. Both can play a factor in giving someone drive. I think once you get to sort of, can be later, but sort of mid-20s, maybe early 30s, you could pretty much know whether you want to be successful or not. Now, I actually came to the party a little bit later than most. I probably was into my 30s before I really took seriously a career. I have a drive that I want to achieve, and I want to be at a level where I am happy and comfortable. And at the moment, in my current level, I'm not. So I have a drive to want to achieve and be better than I am now. And some of it is great, some of it is money, some of it is status, some of it is sort of respect. There's any number of things that keep you driven. I know people that have had difficult upbringings, and they feel if they can get through that, then they can be anything. And a lot of cases that does happen. So I would say that if you have that drive and intensity in your life, then it is a incredibly important thing, because if you do not have that, you will not be successful. And each of these three different things we've spoken about today all build into a idea that you need to have all these three components personally to be successful. So I think, and there's not a great deal more to talk about drive, because I think you either got it or you don't. It is a prerequisite, it is a necessity to be able to be successful, or you'll give up. A lot of people give up too early, and do not have the same ambition. I think drive and ambition are pretty much the same thing, and I think that you should be wanting to be successful, and that is your drive to success. Now, what success means to one person to another is completely different, and you might find that you want to drive to be a manager, and that's where you want to be, and that's equally fine. There's no judgment here on your drive compared to my drive, compared to anyone else's drive. I don't think people should judge you on that. Equally, if you want to be successful, you need to be able to work hard. You need to work late, work early, work through lunch, have meetings all day, start your actual work at 4 o'clock because you had meetings all day. You've got projects that you need to block out 2 hours because you've got to deliver it by the end of the day, and you do it. Something happens that goes wrong, for example, at 6 o'clock, and you have to stay and resolve it and finish it, and that might be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever it is. Those are the things that, so everyone's going to have bad points, everyone's going to have disappointments, everyone's going to have things that went wrong, whether it's your ability that's made it go wrong, or whether it's someone else's. But one of the biggest learning curves I've had is that when things go wrong, the most important thing is about how you respond to it. And that's a real life lesson for me, because I think the more you understand that things do go wrong, and it's that critical phase of actually just dealing with it, working out the right solution, and being able to deliver that. And that might take weeks, that might take months, but it is critical that you are able to correct those things. And that's all done by drive and ambition. Because if you don't have that drive or ambition, you'll leave at 5:30 and go, yeah, whatever, it'll be done tomorrow. So no, I don't want anyone who has that attitude. I'm sorry, I don't think this is the right podcast for you. So please just finish the episode and really think about what you want to achieve. So that is the 3 personal habits that I think you need to develop, or if you've got them, great. Work on them, develop them, make them work best for you. Equally, if there's things that you are missing, then you can work on that with a mentor. You might be able to think about it after what you've heard today. So please do think about it, reflect on it. It's an incredibly powerful tool, is to reflect, and I would suggest you do that. Right. This is the Absolute Business Mindset podcast. I'm on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please leave a message. Love to hear your feedback. It'd be great to hear what you think of it. You can check me out on Twitter. Mark J. Hayward, Mark Hayward, I should say, and equally on YouTube, there's a bunch of videos there which can keep you going if you need an extra fix. Okay, thank you very much for your time, and I'll speak to you soon.